Just finished eating dinner. I had rice, chicken, and vegetables for supper tonight. Um, and for lunch I just had two.
This is what pain looks like when you keep moving with Aleve. Just one Aleve gives you up to 12 hours of uninterrupted pain relief. Aleve, one pill, 12 hours. And for effective topical pain relief for muscles and joints, try Aleve X.
What's in there?
Can't believe we're staying at this psycho killer B&B.
A fact that now seems
After having her there every day for, 2 years, all of a sudden, she's not there anymore.
Cheryl later learned that Kim had moved with Riley to Texas without telling a soul. She had also quietly married her internet flame, Royce Ziegler. Cheryl never saw her granddaughter again. A fact that now seems ominous.
You know, 2 years, all of a sudden, she's not there anymore.
Cheryl later learned that Kim had moved with Riley to Texas without telling a soul. She had also quietly married her internet flame, Royce Ziegler. Cheryl never saw her granddaughter again. A fact that now seems ominous.
All right.
4 weeks after the body of baby Grace was found, Sergeant Barrett and Lieutenant Hanson are called into the station to meet with Kimberly and her attorney. They need a DNA sample from her and are expecting to get only a cheek swab. But Kimberly starts talking and gives them much more.
Riley is baby Grace.
Riley is baby Grace.
Fantastic. Show me.
Kim begins to explain what happened to Riley Ann. A horrifying tale, she says, begins with her husband, Royce Ziegler.
Riley, what is up with all that racket in there? Riley,
According to
Riley, what is up with all that racket in there?
tale, she says, begins with her husband, Royce Ziegler.
Riley, what is up with all that racket in there?
A horrifying tale, she says, begins with her husband, Royce Ziegler.
Riley, what is up with all that racket in there? Riley,
According to Kim, Royce had a history of disciplining Riley harshly.
discipline works when I'm at home. But when it's you and Riley, you aren't doing it right.
She says that on July 25th, Royce had grown tired of what he viewed as the 2-year-old's misbehavior. Much more.
Riley is baby Grace.
Riley is baby Grace.
Fantastic. Show me.
Kim begins to explain what happened to Riley Ann. A horrifying tale, she says, begins with her husband, Royce Royce had a history of disciplining Riley harshly.
Discipline works when I'm at home. But when it's you and Riley, you aren't doing it right.
She says that on July 25th, Royce had grown tired of what he viewed as the 2-year-old's misbehavior.
He decided to stay home from work. He really wanted to stay home and make sure I was disciplining Riley.
Riley, when you want something you ask me, I have.
He said, we need to break her.
Riley, I thought I told you to ask before taking things.
She screamed. She had a bell rolling. She got her head shoved into a pillow.
As the day went on, Kim claims she participated in the abuse in order to please her husband.
He wanted me to shove her head underwater. And I found myself doing that. And I didn't care what it's about. Because that's what he was doing. It just seemed like it went on and on and on.
The couple stopped at one point to give Riley some Tylenol and ice her wounds.
During this, she said, I love you. And it stopped for a brief moment.
She said that to who?
And she had said that to me. I think she had said that to him.
But the abuse continued until finally Riley collapsed.
I could just feel her going cold. And we had a kitty pat on her. Because we thought she was so cold from the ice. He died by her.
Kimberly says she and Royce never discussed calling 911. Instead, they immediately drove to a store to purchase black garbage bags, a blue plastic container, and other supplies. They bathed Riley in bleach to destroy any DNA evidence. They put her body in the box, then left her in the garage to decompose for almost 2 months in the heat of summer.
One night, he decided that we needed to get rid of it. He really ideally wanted to keep it there, but it was starting to smell, and the heat. I was an emotional wreck because I knew my daughter is dead in that box in that storage shed right there. And he decided it would be better if we took and moved.
They drove in the dark to Galveston and dumped the body off a bridge. Investigators are speechless at Kim's story.
How can a mother stand back and watch that happen to their little girl? Most people will fight to the end for their child.
It just shows a level of contempt for human life that I just can't fathom.
They need to find out whether she's telling the truth, and they need to move quickly. After her confession, Kimberly tells investigators that Royce Ziegler attempted suicide just a few days earlier. According to Kim, he had written a suicide note confessing to the brutal killing. If agents don't get to him in time, there's no telling what could happen.
We don't want to see him do anything to himself or anybody else.
November 23rd, 2007. Kimberly Trenner has just stunned investigators by revealing how she and her husband, Royce Ziegler, callously beat her toddler daughter, Riley Ann Sawyers, to death.
And it looked like she didn't have control over her legs anymore. So he held her for a little bit, and he tried to get her to stand a couple
Kimberly tells investigators that Royce is suicidal and has written a note confessing to the monstrous crime. Agents rush to his house and are relieved when he's alive and willing to talk. But once in custody, Royce tells a much different story than the one Kim told just hours earlier.
I was in bed the entire time.
Royce claims he was asleep when he heard Kim yelling at Riley.
He came out of his bedroom, and that's when he realized that Riley was in bad shape.
Royce is putting the blame on Kim, and investigators need to find out who is telling the truth. FBI agents and Sheriff's Department investigators search the couple's home for evidence. Inside a nearby storage unit, investigators find the suicide note. In it, Royce appears to take responsibility for Riley's murder. The FBI evidence lab confirms that Royce wrote the note. Analysts there also recover a list of rules Royce wrote for 2-year-old Riley Ann.
These disciplining sessions were child abuse. They were beyond any standard form of disciplining a child.
In spite of the evidence against Royce, prosecutors decide to charge both Royce and Kimberly with capital murder.
She never said stop. She never called 911. She never said, this is my child, I'll take care of it. And she participated.
Cheryl and Robert Sawyers are emotionally shattered that Kim participated in Riley's death.
I couldn't tell you exactly what I felt. I was just numb to the core at that time. I just kept it all inside. Wasn't even me anymore.
I was absolutely shocked by it. And I still don't know why she would have let it happen. It surprised me. It never, ever would cross my mind that a baby would ever be in danger from her.
Experts believe Kim allowed the abuse to occur because she was afraid of losing Royce.
She wanted to keep her life. I mean, he was her Prince Charming. He moved her down here. He gave her a new life, and she was willing to do anything to keep this life. And if that meant not having Riley around, then that's what it was.
In their opinion, that doesn't change Kim's level of guilt.
I mean, I think any two people who are willing to torture a child all day long, both of them are monsters.
That doesn't stop Kimberly from having another child, however. In a shocking twist, she gives birth to their son while awaiting trial in prison.
Royce told her if she was pregnant, law enforcement would be more lenient on her than they would a woman that is not pregnant.
The jury isn't swayed. On February 2nd, 2009, Kim is convicted of capital murder and sentenced to life in prison. Royce Ziegler is convicted of capital murder later that year and is sentenced to life without parole. Their son is being cared for by relatives. The Galveston Island, where Riley Ann Sawyers was found, was renamed Riley's Island in her honor. She is now buried in her hometown of Mentor, Ohio. Sergeant Mike Ballard, FBI Special Agent Don Gay, and 2 other investigators served as pallbearers, carrying her to her final resting place.
I was very touched and honored that I was asked to be a pallbearer. I have to say that God played a part in this for me to be a pallbearer. It was closure for me, realizing that Riley is now in a better place.
It was rewarding at the end.
Robert Sawyers has since married and has 2 sons. Still, he grieves for his little girl.
Spent 2 wonderful years together. It didn't seem like long enough. She was just a sweetheart. Loved her to death and couldn't love anybody else more besides my other 2 boys that I have right now.
Cheryl Sawyers still feels the intense pain of losing her only granddaughter. She now passes out bracelets with Riley's name on them to raise awareness about child abuse.
I don't want anybody ever to have to go through what we went through, and no child should ever have to go through what she went through. And hopefully by keeping her story out there, that you'll have parents, young parents, you know, who will think twice before striking their child.
How does implementing 4R plans improve my operation?